Locked in. What's going on? Myself, Max
I
Van
like that's
Auken.
your new thing.
I know.
That's your new thing.
I'm Bruce Buffer.
Oh, wow.
Well, actually, I'm Max Van Auken on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yes.
My co-host, as always, David Van Auken.
That's me, Dave Van Auken.
JT Money. I'm saying it.
You know it.
I'm saying JT Money.
That's me.
But then we still have, go ahead and say it.
We got Sean, the producer.
What up?
All right. Before we get into the podcast, I have two Did You Knows, like two kind of facts of the podcast.
Like old school Sports Center, did you know?
Yeah, like that. But nothing to do with sports. All right. First one is, guys, did you know how the podcast word came about?
No.
You know, it has to do with the words iPod and broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the word. That's
Yeah.
how podcast came.
Yeah.
All right. There's one. And number two is Hancock is the most underrated movie in the history of movies. It's a fact. Google, image it.
Google search, Dave. I'm not going to let you keep doing this. This podcast is growing. More and more people are hearing this, and then
Hancock
they're going to
is
hear.
so good.
They're going to hear
Will
Google.
Smith.
No, not that. I'm talking about Google image. It's Google search.
Oh, I image everything. I literally read by pictures.
Produce. Can you turn my volume up on my headphones?
Wow, you sound like Eminem.
He needs more snare.
Turn it up one time.
Dum, boom, 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 boom. My mom's spaghetti and don't so heavy. My name is Dave and I am the rave. I don't know how to behave. I love you more than I do my. Okay, that's it.
All right. Anyway, thank you
That's my
for
beatbox.
joining the Locked In Sports Podcast. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Also, the Facebook page, the Locked In Community.
Yes, sir.
We want to hear back from the Locked In Community. Any debates? If you, what is it, the Dunkin' Donuts card? Go ahead and say it,
Yes,
Dave.
$5 Dunkin' Donut gift cards. Please
Okay,
donate.
or
I'm
you
hungry.
like what we were saying, you don't like what we're saying, you want to engage in debate, you have an opinion, you want your voice to be heard, we hear you. We are the People's Podcast. So make sure you leave a comment. We really appreciate all of that and spread the word.
All right. Last episode, we had Mike Beast Boy Davis in the house talking about the future of the UFC. So excited. This episode, I think we got two really great, big, broad topics.
Before we dive into it,
And dear to our heart.
yes, I just want to say every episode keeps getting better and better. And
It
I just
is.
want a special thank you to Michael Davis for coming in the Locked In studio. Always welcome to come in here. He's an amazing person. Of course, he's an amazing fighter. So everyone check him out and support him. And Fit Meals and everybody that supports him, Pete White Boxing and MMA, check their gym out. So just wanted to make sure they got their proper due before we dive into these two big debates, the Super Bowl and the Cavaliers.
Yes. That's nothing bigger, right?
Sounds like they could go together almost. If LeBron played football and get in the Super Bowl.
He does get to the championship game.
But let's
every
dive
time.
into it. So the Super Bowl,
Super Bowl
obviously,
52.
we're a little late because it's the Super Bowl already happened, but we want to talk about it because we all had the Patriots winning. My locked in before the season started was Tom Brady will be an MVP and he'll win the Super Bowl. I got one part of that right. He was an MVP, but he didn't win the Super Bowl, even though we all thought he would. So let's hear what we have to say.
And isn't it crazy that I kind of think that he deserved to be the MVP of the Super Bowl? Like
Over 500 yards, I
Yeah.
think anybody should be MVP if you have that many.
505 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Brandon Cooks got hurt at the end of the beginning of the second quarter. He literally had people like me and Sean to throw to, and he was the best player on the field. He was the MVP.
One fumble.
All right, so Sean wins that one.
No, I think I think Foles is the well-deserved
God, he was
MVP.
awesome, guys.
But I think what the storyline that people seem to think it's a storyline, I don't think it personally is what do the Eagles do now? And it's
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? What do the Eagles do now?
Oh.
Carson Wentz is your quarterback.
Absolutely.
Foles wants to be a pastor, I believe, which is very nice to hear.
Noble.
But
Very
he's a
noble.
backup quarterback.
Yeah.
There is no debate. So I think that's one of the big questions from the Super Bowl, and I don't think it really should be.
I think even Nick Foles has said that. Like, if
Yeah.
he knows, he's like, this is Carson's team. I'm glad that he gave me the opportunity to do this, and our team won this Super Bowl.
Yeah, the team was great, guys. The coach blew me away, Doug Peterson. I kept on saying it after the Super Bowl. I thought he was outcoached Bill Belichick, going for it on fourth down 3 times. All 3 times they got it. Guys, the trick play at the end of the first half to score a touchdown, and then it's just a mindset saying, we're going for it. Our foot, we're pushing the throttle to the metal, something like that. I think that's how the analogy goes.
Pedal
Pedal to the metal. There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. JT Money on the mic.
Yeah.
I just love their attitude. The coach, it starts from the coach, goes downhill. Nick Foles, he's a B minus C plus quarterback, and he coached them up to an. He was an A plus quarterback that day, and he was against Minnesota. That run, Philadelphia, the coach deserved all the credit in the world.
Well, did you see the NFL Films clip of right before the play, the trick play?
No, I haven't yet.
So I'll have to show it to you later. But Foles, like they called a timeout. He goes up to Doug Peterson and he goes, Philly, like whatever. And he goes, you want to do it? And the coach is like, yeah, hold on, yeah, let's do it.
No way. So Foles told it?
They've practiced it, but Foles told Peter, you want to do it? And Peterson's like, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then they did.
That's so good.
Yeah, I'll have to play.
I love the behind the scenes stuff.
I love that
awesome.
stuff. Yeah, and so then he executed it.
Oh, perfect.
And on top of the
Who
fact
threw
that
the ball? Oh, Trey Burton, the Gator, great.
Want to know what's interesting, though, is he played a fabulous game, and I think everybody admits that he did. He lived up to the biggest moment of his life, which he easily could have folded and not performed well. But I think what people are losing perspective is he's also in a great system. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but people think he has the talent and the potential to be a big star in the league or a starting quarterback. And I think he's a middle-of-the-pack quarterback, below average, great backup quarterback. But he's not somebody that would turn your team around and not a great system. Everything was perfect for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the offensive line was amazing. The coaching was amazing. But they also were very aggressive and went for it. And that was awesome.
Everyone always says, like, oh, if Nick Foles started all year, they would be the same way. No way. Guys, Carson Wentz had him at a 12-1 record. Like, they were at the home field advantage because of Carson Wentz. If Foles started all year, maybe they're 8-4 at that time or 7-5. And if they're playing at Minnesota in that NFC Championship game, or maybe they're playing the Saints, maybe it wouldn't be the same way. So, guys, Carson Wentz is absolutely the future. But, Max, question, next year, is Nick Foles an Eagle? Does he start the season as a Philadelphia Eagle? Or does he go to another team in the offseason?
I think he's an Eagle. And I think that's what makes Nick Foles so unique and why he's such a good backup quarterback is he doesn't have the ego of somebody that just won the Super Bowl normally has, where they want all the money, they want the star power, and I think that's what makes him unique, is I think that he is perfectly fine, how Sean mentioned, being an Eagles backup quarterback and just doing his role, doing his job, and that's something that's special, because typically when you win a Super Bowl, all of a sudden everybody's egos are but through the roof. I want this amount of money, I want a bigger role, but when you just stay in line and do your job, what the Patriots say, I think he'll be an Eagle.
It's like me at work. If I have like a good sales week, like I'm already asking for a raise. Yeah, it is what it is. All right.
No, he's a great backup quarterback, and he was super humble. I mean, and he has more receiving yards than Brady in that match.
Wow. Okay.
That was the same exact play.
I know,
you can't
that
tell
was
me.
awesome.
Not quite. It had the reverse. It was.
I think the biggest storyline.
Pretty close.
Does Belichick stay? And he is. That's big. That's big to me. Because I could have easily have seen him retire, or because him and Kraft are having that.
He still
dispute.
could leave.
I think he could. I think he's staying, especially with the management they were able to keep. Brady's playing another year. I think he stays.
I think so too. But I think
they leave together.
This year? Wait, coming up?
Well, when they do, whether it be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I think Brady and Belichick leave together.
Wow, that's a good call.
But Tom, his brand is Tom versus Time, like those documentaries. I think he goes as long as he's producing.
Yeah,
and I think that could be. I think him producing is a bigger time frame than the patience Belichick has to coach anymore.
So when there was 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, and they were down by 3 or 5 at that time, I think it was 5. So when they were down by 5, did you guys think 100%, no doubt about it, that Tom Brady was going to drive down the field and score? That's the first question. And then second question, even with 45 seconds left, and then they were down by 8 because Philly stopped them, got the fumble, and they kicked the field goal. Even down by 8, did you guys still think Tom Brady was going to go down, score the touchdown, and the 2-point conversion?
As soon as Philly scored, I said, that's too much time for Brady.
Yeah.
That's an entire game for Brady.
That's exactly what I said.
No, I think so too. And that fumble, that was just heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking.
That was the play of the game.
And I was watching it at Olivia's dad's house, a bunch of Eagle fans.
Shout out to Liv.
Yeah. And a bunch of Eagle fans. So I'm like, don't worry. The Patriots make halftime adjustments. He fumbled. This is enough time for him to come back. And I thought they did, but unfortunately, I was
Well,
wrong.
even after the fumble, I wasn't even sure that they were even in field goal range, and they hit. I mean, he had to kick a long field goal to make it an 8-point game. I was like, they pretty much went 3 and out per set. With kicking that.
Yeah.
I was like, the game even after that fumble group chat. I'm like, this game's not over yet. I mean, it really isn't.
That was a penalty on Gronk. Are we going to act like that Hail Mary wasn't?
It was not a penalty on Gronk.
I don't have a problem with them not calling it, but it definitely is a penalty. But
you
hear
can't-
everybody
you-
say it like that is a penalty. If you're going
it's
to
called a Hail Mary. It's
Yeah,
like
it's- you
it's
can't-
up for grabs.
so if you Hail Mary doesn't mean the rules go out the window.
it kind of does.
That's not right. Because so that means you're basically it's a free for all. I'm going to just
unless
completely-
it's flagrant.
Yeah, like if he pulls down his pants, that's
Does
a
he-
penalty. But if it's a bump and grind and they jump on him, it's
You got
it's all-
eight. You got
that goes.
8 guys jump ball.
Yeah.
You've played 500 in a pool.
Oh, I
Yep.
loved it.
I mean, you know how it is. I mean, me and Dave,
Wow.
we've gouged each other's eyes out trying to get a football.
I love when you and I are in the pool together.
Yeah.
See, I hate to bash on your parade, but you and Dave in a pool in the NFL are completely different. I'm trying to say the
I
NFL.
don't see it that way. I really don't.
We think it's
I
the
don't see
NFL.
we have replays off of anything now.
That
You're
is
telling
true.
me they can't look at that and just maybe
Don't get me started on the replays. And
No,
if
the
it's a
replays
catch,
is
if it's not
terrible.
a catch.
The
it's-
catch system is
oh.
terrible. It is. I think if you catch, like if we go outside, like you just mentioned the pool, like if you play just tackle football in a yard, if you catch the ball, that's a catch. The whole it
Gotta
moved,
maintain control,
but
baby.
it
Gotta
moved
maintain
in here. It's
control.
like you have control. Like I get if you go like boom and the ball drops. I'm sorry for the people listening, you can't see, but if the ball touches your hands,
It's a podcast, Max.
and it just drops, that's not a catch. But if you catch it and you have a substantial amount of time with it, a couple seconds with it, you caught the ball. What you do after the ball, that's different. But in that time frame, you caught the ball.
Right.
Isn't that the rule? Isn't it? They
I-
have to maintain possession for.
But
3
you also have
seconds?
to make a football move is the deal. And so that's like with the Patriots-Steelers game. It was ruled not a catch. I think according to the rules, it was a good call. I think
Agreed.
it was a catch because the rule is stupid.
So
Agreed.
all year, and I don't have a problem with the call. I thought it was a catch, but all that first touchdown, I believe, the one that we're talking about that sparks debate, is all year that's not a catch. But the Super Bowl, they decide that is a catch.
The Corey Clement, the 30-yard
Yes.
touchdown.
I don't have a problem with that personally, but if you're gonna ref
agree with
all
that point,
if you're
too.
gonna ref all season one way, how do you change it up just for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I thought that was going to get overturned.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to get overturned, and then I thought Zach Ertz was a touchdown, no problem.
Yeah, and
I was
it-
like, what are they reviewing?
Yeah.
He caught it, ran 3 feet. He had
And
it,
jumped
boom,
into
three
the end
steps,
zone.
Broke the
jumped in,
surface.
broke the plane. It was an
Yeah.
easy touchdown, so that was wild. But I really thought Corey Clement was actually an incomplete. But then kind of what back to Sean said, that to me is a catch. But all year long, the NFL was saying that was not a catch.
Right.
But in the future, I hope they kind of go that route and like, dude, it was a little shovel, a little bobble to one hand to another. That's a catch, guys. He had the ball. He was in. Like,
It's gonna change because you go back to 99, 2000,
Uh-oh.
the Bert Emanuel rule.
oh yeah, Tampa Bay, great.
That's tough for me because it's he caught the ball, had
Yeah.
had full possession, but because the nose hit the ground before he did, they considered it incomplete. Ball didn't even move.
Were you doing
Yeah.
research on your computer before we started this episode?
No, the Bert Emanuel rule is deep in
Yeah,
my heart, man,
yeah.
because
Wow.
that was we were playing that made us not get a first down. That could have given us first down, and we could have scored, beat the Rams, and we would have gone and played the Titans in the Super Bowl instead of the Rams.
Yeah.
So who knows? We still had to make the plays. We still had to take the lead, and then we still would have had to play the Super Bowl. But we could have that play cost us a chance at doing that.
Tampa.
Boo!
Who?
Yeah, that's a real thing. So
I think
you put a bow on the game. You feel good about it. Okay, just for the future, what in your heart, Max, the next year for New England? What do you? Is this a ballpark? You don't have to give me a detail. What do you think New England does next year?
I
They're
think-
solid. They're going to be a great team.
I think they need to improve defensively because they couldn't get a stop at all.
So just draft like literally first 5 rounds.
focus
defense,
on your,
defense,
if
defense.
you have Tom Brady coming back,
Okay.
your good quarterback position. Of course, you need to have a backup.
Edelman comes back too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And Brady can throw to anybody.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sure.
throw anybody out there.
so you keep the
Offense
system.
wins games. Defense wins championships.
Exactly. I would just build your defensive
JT
roster.
Money.
Other than that, I think the system, the Patriots, Belichick,
Yeah.
Brady, I think they're going to be just fine. And if the dynasty continues, if the staff continues,
Okay. Sean.
Does Gronk come back?
I don't think so.
He's got like 6 cruises booked for next year. I doubt it.
Yeah, he just
He's saying he might not.
Whoa.
Or is that just him
Guys.
trying to get more money?
Yeah,
Yes,
no, guys, come on.
Absolutely, come on.
It was 15 minutes after maybe the biggest loss of his career, and it's Gronk.
How many head
It's
injuries?
Gronk.
How many head injuries has this guy had?
Actually, no head injuries.
He's had concussions. He's
No.
had concussions.
Yes, he has.
He was in concussion protocol, but they even
That's a
said
head injury.
it was a protocol, but he said he didn't even have a concussion.
Okay, but
But
Dave,
it's Gronk.
okay, but two things. First, if you're in
Sure, I'm
protocol,
listening.
you definitely had something going on with your head in order for it to be a protocol, or else you wouldn't have had something with your head. That's just my point. Is there has to be a reason why it's a protocol.
No, he got hit high, and then the NFL, that's like the rule. If you got hit high, and if the NFL thinks it could be a concussion, they put you in a concussion protocol.
Oh, he was
and get you out.
definitely had a concussion.
Yeah,
It was
bro.
in,
Wow, Gronk said he didn't.
you got
It's Gronk.
It's Gronk. But I mean, did you see him get up and you see him walk after that?
That's how he usually walks after a couple beers. That's Gronk.
I've had a buddy playing softball. Two people going after a pop up and they'd hit each other, and he had a concussion because I drove him home, and,
And he looked like Gronk.
he looked like Gronk. I mean, he's a lot smaller than Gronk.
Sure.
But
Normal
also-
people are.
But he didn't know we got home. Like, we got home, and he's like, "How'd I get here?"
Wow.
But also how many opportunities he has outside football. WWE, he has
Those
His cruises,
cruises. He just, if you're injury prone and you have so many opportunities, I'm not saying, he probably will play, but I just wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
all those opportunities will be there 2 years from now. The
Your health
WWE
may not be.
will always be there.
Your health may
Movies
not
will
be.
always be there. I think it's football. He's 29. He's not even 30 years old, guys. I
He's
think
29 going on like 36 though, because injuries are
You got to think of his
serious.
knees too, not necessarily his head,
Yes.
but his knees. He wants to be able to walk. He wants.
wow. I didn't even think this was a conversation
No,
starter.
I honestly.
I'm
So,
not
okay, wait.
I think
Sean,
partially he's trying to get money, but I think seriously, I think it's.
So give me a
Wear and
percentage on
tear.
Gronk retires. Sean?
I say 60-40 retire.
Max?
Go JT money first.
JT Money?
I'll go between them.
I don't think he would retire, but I mean, he might take some lesser money and go to another team. If they don't give him what he wants, he might transfer to another team.
Okay. Max?
I think 70-30 he returns. I just
So
think there's
30% retirement.
yeah.
Okay. I say 0% retirement. Like none. Like he's
None.
definitely coming back. He's 29. He's the greatest tight end ever. He's still in his prime. He had an awesome year this year. He's not declining at all. The Patriots will be great. I think it's 15 minutes. He's after the worst loss ever. He's emotional.
He didn't get his free trip to Disney World. You
Yeah,
know.
he's
Dave,
upset.
I have
He's
a bone to
upset.
pick with Dave.
Uh-oh.
Do you want the stand or do you want to hold the mic?
Okay, I'm taking it off the stand.
Yes.
There'll
Taking it
be well, you guys will have seen it by now, but there's a photo on Facebook of him holding this photo.
Yes,
It's not,
I was thinking about
fu-
that.
future
too.
joke. It's not posted yet, but it'll be posted by the time
Am
you
I
hear
going to
this.
get my own meme? A mem? Am I getting my own mem?
Yes. Yes.
Probably.
Happy Festivus. No, I don't want to use it, and then all of a sudden you get me so like hyped up and emotional. I'm like, wait, I'm getting amped for this, and then I
You gotta be
got the mic.
calm before the storm, Dave. Calm,
Wow.
cool, calm
Like
and
Craig Duncan.
composed.
Lightning before the thunder.
There you go. You got to be cool, calm, and composed.
Can I go off on my? That picture's amazing. Yep, I'm officially a mem.
Wow.
Can I go off on my Dan Gilbert thing now? Can
Yeah.
I just have like 3 minutes of just complete?
All right, everybody, let's put our mics down, our heads down on the table. Let's go.
Okay. And then Max, afterwards, if you agree or disagree, jump in. But I'm going off on Dan Gilbert.
I agree.
Okay, thank you, Shawnee. I went off this on Facebook. There's even one more topic I even forgot because I wrote it all down. All right, here's my officially Dan Gilbert is officially locked out. Anyone who doesn't know, Dan Gilbert is the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He drafted LeBron James, not he. LeBron James was the first pick. Everyone knew it. It wasn't even him, the general managers. But he's from Cleveland. He's from Akron, guys. So LeBron went to Cleveland. He was there for 7 years. And Dan Gilbert, the owner, these are the players. These are some of those names he got him. Shaquille O'Neal, 35, 38 years old. Sedrunas Agassiz. Anton Jameson. So people that know basketball know Anton Jameson. People that don't know basketball have no idea who he is. And even Anton Jameson was out of his prime. Larry Hughes. Boobie Gibson. Not even Boobie Cousins. He got a Boobie Gibson, all right? Backup guard from Texas. But he got him from 7 years, and then LeBron, he wanted to win championships, so he decided to leave. So Dan Gilbert wrote this awful letter about him, said nasty, mean things, that he was going to win a championship before LeBron, and was dead wrong because LeBron won championships in Miami. But, of course, LeBron, the great, the good person that he is, he wanted to come back to Cleveland to win a championship for his hometown. So he comes back. And on the team, they have a young Kyrie Irving. By the way, Dan Gilbert had another first pick he picked. Max, who's that first pick he picked?
I don't even want to mention his name. You talking about Anthony Bennett?
Yeah, Anthony Bennett. The worst first pick ever. All right, so I'm kind of past that.
Yeah, probably
now,
is actually the worst first pick ever.
He's with Cleveland, guys. LeBron, 3 straight NBA Finals appearances, wins 1 championship. There's an off-season mess to do with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving says he wants to get traded. Maybe it has to do with LeBron. Maybe it doesn't. But Kyrie Irving wants to get traded. So Dan Gilbert, the owner, and we knew LeBron was going into his contract year and maybe was going to move on, he decides to trade Kyrie Irving. What happened if Dan Gilbert was smart and he knew LeBron wanted to leave, maybe he went to Kyrie Irving and said, hey, you're a superstar, kid. We want you to stay here, take the year off, pull the Andrew Luck, get knee surgery, literally just relax. No, he trades him to Boston for Isaiah Thomas, Jamison Crowder, and a first-round pick. All right? Jay Crowder, not Jamison Crowder. Anyways, so now he trades Kyrie, who is a superstar, and trades him to Boston, Cleveland's #1 rival in the East. The best place that Kyrie could have went, the best place that a team that can attack Cleveland from the East. So that's an awful move, I think, from Dan Gilbert. So in that trade, guys, he gets Isaiah Thomas, who, of course, does not gel with with Cleveland, because he wants to get the ball and shoot too much, and LeBron, he has a hip surgery and all this stuff. So that's a total mess. So he trades him again, and all these trades, and we'll get into that soon. He has a great trade deadline. His GM did an awesome job. But he trades Isaiah Thomas to the Lakers. And everyone will be like, oh, that's good, right? No, he traded them, and he's a free agent this year. So now Isaiah Thomas could leave L.A. L.A. could not sign him back, and it gives them room. It gives the Lakers room to sign LeBron James and Paul George where LeBron could go. So Dan Gilbert, all he does is does things to not attract LeBron to stay in Cleveland, and does everything to push him away, push Kyrie to Boston, push Isaiah to L.A., push everyone. I just think Dan Gilbert is the worst owner, dumbest person ever in history. Mic drop.
Does he have stock options in L.A.?
All right. I'm going to give you my reaction. First off, I just want to note that Dan Gilbert is not a good NBA owner. So if I do defend him at any point in time, my general opinion of Dan Gilbert is not a good one. I do not support Dan Gilbert.
That letter.
Yeah, I don't support him.
It was awful, right?
I don't.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I don't think he is a good owner. I don't think he's a good basketball mind. And I don't think him and LeBron gel very well, obviously. But that being said, I do want to defend him in this aspect. You're right about everything you set up before this trade. I think him trading Kyrie Irving to the Celtics is probably the worst spot you could send Kyrie. So I completely agree with. But
Thank you.
The fact with this trade with Isaiah Thomas, so they made a mistake with Isaiah. It's clear him and Jay Crowder are not the same players outside of Brad Stevens, the head coach for the Boston Celtics system. But here's the thing. You only have a few choices that you could possibly do to fix this roster to get younger, one, which they absolutely needed. They were the oldest roster in the NBA. And secondly, get better defensively, also the worst defensive team in the NBA. So you need 2 of those things. And it's not like you have a ton of choices with teams to trade to, because a lot of players' contracts are locked in, that we like to say, or they're free agents next year. So you have a handful of options that you can do. You already offered to get DeAndre Jordan, but that didn't go through. So what can you do? The Lakers want to clear cap space. Yeah, you don't want to do that because LeBron can go there, but at the same time, LeBron James is going to do what he's going to do no matter what the time is. That's just what he wants to do. So you're not going to change LeBron's mind by helping the Lakers. The only way you could change LeBron's mind in staying is if you make this team now better. So what can you do? You can get Larry Nance Jr. and you can get Clarkson, which is younger and better defensively. Clarkson can shoot, as we can see. He's fitting in. And then also what they do is they get Rodney Hood as well, another scorer. And then they get George Hill from Utah, who's a great playmaker, great two-way guard, veteran, can shoot threes, fast, great defensively. So they now have cured the issue of being old by getting rid of Dwayne Wade in a right way, by the way. That was happy with LeBron and Dwayne Wade, so he's not a jerk for that. You got rid of Crowder and Isaiah Thomas with a bad hip, 5'8" with an attitude. And you got rid of Channing Frye, who doesn't play any defense, and he's older than Bill Russell. So they cleared all of that stuff. So now they are younger and better defensively. The downfall is, yes, the Lakers have cleared cap space. But at the end of the day, the only way to keep LeBron is winning now and creating a team that he likes. And the only way in doing that is doing what he did. So you can either, one, not go with the Lakers and have a terrible, eroding team that's old that will get swept by the Warriors, and then he's damn sure leaving to go if you don't have a good team now. Or you can do the best what you have and the options now and just create the best team around him. That's what he did. So I think as Dan Gilbert, as an executive, did all the right moves with this trade.
Okay. So, for one, the trade deadline for the Cavs itself, I absolutely love, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. But there's inside information that Dan Gilbert had zero to do with the trades. It was all Kobe Altman,
No, that's BS, bro.
to the new GM.
Yeah, they'll say that to give him credit, but Dan Gilbert has a say in everything.
But
without a doubt. You tell me
maybe
they didn't
he has
make
the
a...
okay, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, come on. They didn't make a trade without him knowing the details, the owner of the team.
He just okays it, goes, oh, it's a good trade or bad trade. Or
So he knew about it.
Afterwards. Like, hey, we're going to make this
Bro.
trade, bring it up. And then he okays it. To me, Dan Gilbert's not smart enough to clear the cap with L.A. You just said the younger, all that stuff. So just say the same trade.
Time out. Before you even continue, as a GM, you inform your boss of everything. So
Sure.
he already knew about the Lakers cap space. It's not like he wasn't informed of that before he gave the okay. You can't make a trade and not tell the owner.
I disagree. I don't think he has any meaning of the Lakers cap space.
Oh, he definitely did, because as a GM, it is your responsibility.
No, the GM, but not to Dan Gilbert.
No, but Dave, what I'm saying is, even if Dan Gilbert didn't make everything, he was talking to the GM before the trade was made, and the GM definitely told him every possibility with everything. You don't think they discussed the Lakers cap space at all? As a GM, you're professional. LeBron James definitely wants to maybe go to the Lakers next year. You don't think they even thought about the cap space with the Lakers?
The GM, not Dan Gilbert.
But what I'm saying, Dave, is the GM talks to the owner before anything is made, so he definitely told
Before
the
it's
owner
finalized.
that. That's
Now,
what I'm saying.
The GM did all the hard work, did all the
Yes.
groundwork.
And gave him all the information. Then he said, okay, so he was aware of all this before it happened.
I understand that. So then he tells him, but then Dan Gilbert doesn't put that. I don't think, this is just my 2 cents, I don't think he can comprehend or figure out that, oh.
Yeah, you get a point there. Anyway.
Yeah, no, Dan
The
Gilbert
GM
is
told him.
Look, so he told him, I tell a lot of people things to do and they don't do this rightest thing. Dan Gilbert traded Kyrie to Boston, doesn't get LeBron people, and literally the one place that all the rumors that LeBron can go to, he literally traded a guy who clears the cap so LeBron can go there. And just with the trade, the Rodney Hood, no one thought of Rodney Hood was going to be a Cleveland Cavalier, right? What happened? So instead of Clarkson and to Larry Nance, what if they trade Isaiah and Crowder? How about to Atlanta Hawks for Bazemore and Dennis Schroeder? How about the Denver Nuggets for Moutier, who did get traded to New York, and Kenneth Faried? Kind of the same thing, that backup guard who scores, the big who plays defense. And I like Faried more than Nance. And I do like Nance.
Moutier can't shoot, and Freed's injury prone.
A little bit. How about for Kemba Walker? All I'm saying, and we had zero idea about Rodney Hood, so there's probably other players out there that could go left or right we don't know of. I just think it's crazy that the team Cleveland gave L.A. the opportunity now to get exactly what they wanted with Paul George and LeBron James. Is that
I
crazy
see your
of me
point,
to
but what I'm saying is LeBron James ultimately is going to make his decision no matter what. If he wants to go to Lakers, he'll go to the Lakers. But by the Cavaliers making him happy now is all they can do. It's like
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I
so
totally
with the
agree with that.
pieces
And they
you
did
have,
do that. They did a great job getting the players.
The only thing you can focus on now is making LeBron James happy and feeling like he's wanted and that they have a chance to win. And that's what they did.
And they do.
So that's my point. And the Lakers were the best option. I'm sure they offered trades to multiple teams, but this one definitely worked. And don't get me wrong, as a Lakers fan, which I am, and a LeBron James fan, which I am, the Lakers definitely won this trade as well, 100%, because they cleared up so much cap space. Like you said, Isaiah Thomas, they won't re-sign.
Yeah.
So that's more. So I definitely think they won this also, but it benefited both teams. A lot of the trades with other teams, okay, so Charlotte's willing to give up Kemba Walker for a hurt Isaiah Thomas and a bad Jay Crowder. Like, that just doesn't make sense on their part either. The Lakers, it worked with them. That's why it just worked. You had to do what you had to do.
There's a lot of
The
trades.
Celtics was just dumb. That was just dumb. I would send them to Phoenix, but
Of course, that's my point. I just think he has a bad track history.
no argument there. I'm definitely not arguing that.
So I agree with you on all that, and I'm so happy what Cleveland did. I think they have a shot to win the NBA championship now. I love their team. I absolutely love it. So I think they have a shot to beat Golden State, Cleveland, Thunder.
Do they?
Yes. I think the NBA Finals now is Cleveland versus the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, my gosh. I think the Thunder match up the best with the Warriors, but they're not beating the Warriors. They're definitely not. And they match up defensively very well. And we've had this debate, but obviously we'll get into it.
No, that's the Cavs.
Okay, we're done. So the Thunder, Warriors.
Thunder.
Okay, so this is my breakdown. So defensively, the way to beat the Warriors is not playing the Warriors ball. You have to be big. You have to be physical. You don't want to play up and down, shoot threes. So they do that. You have Adams. You have Paul George, who matches up with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
You have Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
And Robertson. That injury is definitely a big one for them
Sure.
because he's great defensively on the
They
perimeter.
got Melo, though. Like Melo that can help the 4 spot. Can defend,
so they
Draymond.
match up the best with any team in the West with the Warriors. That's for sure. But let's just go 1-for-1 matchup-wise. The Warriors win. Like Curry, Westbrook. I'll give you either or. Okay, Clay, Carmelo, Clay. Kevin Durant, Paul George, Kevin Durant. Draymond Green, Adams, Draymond Green. Like, I would go with the Warriors, but that's not even how they play. They play system basketball. The Thunder, and I know you love the coach, the Florida great,
Billy
but
Donovan.
their system doesn't even match the Warriors' system. So
Agree.
in the playoffs, when you're fatigued, you rely on the system, not individual star power. We saw Russell Westbrook melt down off of fatigue. James Harden lost to a Spurs system that didn't even have Kawhi Leonard. Didn't even have him. So I'll go with the Warriors system, and I'll go with the Warriors players. Now, lastly, what you need on a championship team is great bench depth. And the Warriors bench is hands down easily better than the Thunder. So in all 3 categories on who's the better team, the Warriors check off on all of them.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, 3 points are better than 2, and they shoot the ball better than anybody.
It was like the year 2004. LeBron James made his first NBA Finals. The Cleveland Cavaliers team was awful. They had one superstar. They played the Detroit Pistons, who that team won a championship, and they went to 5 straight Eastern Conference Finals and 2 NBA Finals. That one player, LeBron James, beat the better team.
Okay, but LeBron's better than everybody, so it's kind of hard to make a comparison to him.
No, my point is you just said like a players. I would go all in with Russell, PG-13, and Steven Adams that series against Golden State. I just think I have.
Can we make a bet on this?
I still don't have my large iced coffee bet from the Atlanta Falcons.
You never,
am I right, Sean?
You never are here. I can't give you an iced coffee when I don't see you, or you already have one. So my point being,
I can always use 2.
my point being is, I would love to make a bet with this because I have the Warriors in 5 or 6. I'd say 6 to be safe.
Okay, so 6 to be safe.
Yeah.
How about this? I will bet you a large iced coffee. If the Warriors win in 4, 5, or 6, you get it. If it goes to Game 7, regardless.
No. I want to do just Warriors win. You
Whoa,
do Thunder win.
Whoa, you felt pretty strong about just 5 or 6.
It may go 7, and I don't. My bet is the Warriors win. Your bet is the Thunder win. How about the iced coffee on that?
If they play each other in the playoffs.
Yeah, of course. They have to match up.
I had the Thunder. You got the Warriors.
Yes.
Shake hands. Large iced coffee bet.
Okay,
Deal.
no crosses count. All right. Witness.
LeBron James witness. All right, let's talk about the Cavs for a couple minutes. I just love all the trades. I love these guys. I'm a Rodney Hood fan. I was getting Max. Remember I was texting you. I was on the way to Charleston, South Carolina, driving up. I'm like, Max, they just got Rodney Hood. You're like, Dave, how do you know this
I
information?
didn't get the Bleacher Report.
Didn't dig yet.
I didn't get him.
I love Rodney Hood. He's a Duke great. He's so underrated.
For the record, Bleacher Report is about to be locked out because I still haven't gotten the notifications for the Isaiah Thomas trade or anything.
Wow.
I know it happened by now, but I didn't get any notifications. But
I told him not to text you. I control Bleacher Report now.
I was like, what is going on? You're like, did you see this? I'm like,
Yeah.
you're joking. You're like, Isaiah Thomas just got traded. I'm like,
It was crazy. Like, as the group, I love George Hill. He's going to be really good. Point guard, shoots threes, defends. I love the energy of Clarkson and Nance. I think the unsung hero of these 4 is Rodney Hood. I think he's a... Next year, if LeBron Core stays a whole year in Cleveland, Rodney Hood becomes an all-star. He's that level of a player. He's awesome.
I have a big picture look for you, though, is I think this team is perfect for LeBron. It's like George Hill said, Batman is LeBron, Robin is a whole bunch of players. So it's a lot easier to incorporate role players in a system other than star players because you don't have to worry about who's having the ball. But
100% agree.
this is the first time since probably 2010 LeBron James wasn't a part of a big 3.
Yeah. And I think it's going to help him. I think this is a positive for him
But here's the thing. LeBron James averaged 34 points, 35 points in the finals with a triple-double. Still didn't win because he didn't have enough help.
This year he's got more help. They're deeper.
But don't you still need – I feel like you still need that one player that can get you a bucket.
Rodney Hood. Jordan Clarkson.
Okay, but
They
you're
have
playing
numerous
against an
players.
all-time great team. Normally I'd say yes, but you're playing Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. It's just
Good point, Max. Who's the best player in that series?
LeBron, but it's getting closer with Kevin Durant.
But you still think LeBron.
Yes,
So I feel like they have the best player in this series.
which they have had the last couple of finals.
Okay.
And
They won one, and then if they didn't have the injuries, they went to 6 with Matt Dellavedova, right? They have a shot.
Say that 3 times fast.
Dellavedova.
I'm a wordsmith. What can I say? No, I think they got a shot this year. I like their team.
So you're saying that you need another superstar in order to.
Superstars are overrated.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
No,
Yeah.
you need one. You need one. In a star-driven league, you have to. If you look at all the top teams, they just packed with all-stars.
right.
I mean, the Rockets acquired Chris Paul. I mean, the Spurs is like the one big exception. And even then, they had a star. Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard. But the system
But I mean,
is the thing.
even then, Duncan was the star. Like,
Exactly.
we made that argument when we were talking before about these teams. Like, you don't see those other guys as being like the big stars. They worked well in that system, but they
Exactly.
weren't like the big guys.
Especially now.
I think Rodney Hood is really close to Klay Thompson. He's not a superstar name or recognition, but I think they're really close.
No. I think Rodney Hood's good, but Klay Thompson is on another level of good. Compared to him, he's better defensively. I'm not saying Rodney Hood's bad defensively, but I'm just saying Klay Thompson's defense is elite, and then Klay Thompson will go down as probably the second greatest shooter of all
Is
time.
elite because of the team that he's
I
on?
was just going to say that.
It-
Imagine Klay Thompson with the Utah Jazz with not the great coaching system in Steph Curry, and put Rodney Hood from Golden State from day one.
That may be right, but at the same time, we live in the world where he's on the Warriors. So defensively,
Damn, I love this fantasy world I was talking about.
that's what I'm saying. So defensively, he matches up with the best of them that Rodney Hood isn't defensively. And then he's the second greatest shooter of all time already in my book.
Above Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, and Ray Allen.
Yes.
Living in the moment.
Yes. He's
Living in the moment.
No, he
I'm gonna
scored-
take a word from you, man.
He scored 60-plus points with like
So
6
Steph
dribbles.
Curry is the greatest shooter ever. You know, I
Yes,
do say that.
I think Klay Thompson's above him. I mean, not Curry. I'm talking about above the ones you listed.
Wow.
I think-
Reggie Miller.
He has a quicker release than Larry Bird, and I
Ray
think he shoots
Allen.
deeper than Larry Bird. Reggie Miller is a really good shooter. Him and Ray Allen are like neck and neck. I'd still say Ray Allen for as far as a spot-up shooter. Reggie Miller's probably better off the dribble. But I think Klay Thompson's right there.
Wow.
How about Rick Smits?
A lot of people think how about Pistol Pete? But I'm talking about a lot of people think Klay
JJ
Thompson is better than Curry at shooting.
Yeah, I don't think that.
A
I
lot
think
of people
Curry
do.
shoots more shots, like off the dribble.
He's
dribbling
more
up the
creative.
court. Yeah, more creative. And I just think foul shooting, percentage-wise, three-point shooting. I think Curry's the greatest shooter of all time, but I don't have Klay as number 2.
So do they? We won't do the finals prediction now, but you do have the Cavaliers in the finals. I have the Warriors. You have the Thunder.
Yes.
Do the Cavs have a shot against the Warriors? You're just your final
Yes.
gut instinct. Yes.
Yes. I love this team. I like him more than last year.
And if they win this year, is LeBron certified the GOAT if he wins with this roster?
Yes.
I think he's the GOAT now. That's why I
JT, you
didn't
think
ask
Cleveland
myself.
makes the NBA Finals?
I haven't been real up on basketball lately, but yeah.
You will now. You will now.
I will now.
Sean, they make it?
I already locked him out.
Yeah, you
Remember?
locked him out.
You locked them and the Warriors out.
I
Wait,
did.
wait. Let me go to the past episodes. What are you guys doing? Because I'm going complete opposite of that.
Son of a gun. We're all over the map in basketball.
Speaking about
But
locked
you're,
in,
so
Max
you're,
has got-
you haven't mentioned really the Rockets in this Thunder Warriors conversation, or the Celtics in the Cavs
The
conversation.
Cavs locked in the East. 100% they are coming. They're winning the East. The West, to me, is wide open.
can I say something about the Thunder? As soon as that trade happened with Melo and George, I said they pose the biggest threat to the Warriors.
I
did
think
say
they do. Max, I think the Thunder has the biggest shot, and I think the Rockets have a legit shot, too. It's a gut feeling. Sean called the Rams and Jaguars. I don't know. He had it. He said the Warriors were not going back to the NBA Finals. I started watching some games. I think the Warriors will not make it to the NBA Finals this year.
Wow.
I almost want to if you had a locked in charge, I'd be like, you just rip that off. You're not locked in.
You'll have to go to the website and buy another one.
And that website is, we're going to go shop shop.spreadshirt.com/lockedin with 2 N's /.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Some nice fancy shirts on there.
Yeah, get the premium. It's so soft.
It is. It
The
is.
very
cotton is
supple.
so soft. It's like $4 more.
You can
guys.
get hoodies there
Go
too, by the way.
Yeah, I
Yeah, when
actually
it
was
gets
going to
cold.
check it out. I've seen a couple of other podcasts. They have like the T-shirt hoodies. I was going to look in to see if we can
like
get
the
that
Bill
now.
Belichick.
It's like it's like a T-shirt like with a hoodie on.
Oh,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Like
I
it's
like
long
those.
sleeve, but it's like thin.
Yeah.
it's not like a sweater.
I
or
would
anything.
get that in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's
Max
not that
is wearing
much.
that locked in
yeah.
shirt right now. That's legit.
I'm gonna check it out when we're over, and I was gonna see if we have it on there yet.
Shop.spreadshirt.com/lockedin with 2 N's /.
Are we ready to get locked in?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Well,
to me.
I had one other
Ooh.
question. You guys were discussing, kind of bounced around a little bit.
Bouncing,
So
I like that.
We were talking about LeBron, and like we do, we didn't talk about him for a little bit. We talked all this
Yeah, I
UFC,
know.
MMA stuff. We broke our streak a while back. It's been kind of
LeBron and MMA could be a thing.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Who do you got? You know.
I got Michael Davis.
I was just gonna say.
Me
First
too.
round knockout.
So you definitely have him leaving, Dave.
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Correct. I did before these trades. The
But-
trades, I think, really helped the team, and I think they have a legitimate shot this year doing some things.
But your argument was you're giving all these
Exactly.
You're giving this ammo to LA to
Yes.
get him.
Yeah, on the negative side of it, I think they make it to the finals, and I think they have a good shot against Golden State. I do. But if they get swept or get demolished by Golden State, yeah, he's going to LA. It's happening.
And Max, you think he's staying definitely, or do you think what's the shot of him leaving now after these trades?
I think if he wins an NBA Finals, it's like 60-40 he stays. If he 70-30 he stays. Now, I think he goes to LA.
Right now?
Yeah.
What's your
I think he goes to LA like 70-30.
and you're definitely LA is definitely the destination. You
Yeah.
don't think he's going to go back to Miami?
It's weird.
Ooh.
That's what people have been saying, but there's nothing there for him in Miami. You don't have any stars. I think it'd be a cool reunion if Chris Bosh came out of
I
retirement.
mean, you've got like
and
a
him and Wade.
45-year-old Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, and you just drug him through the whole drama situation. I think he goes to LA because they have enough cap space to sign another big free agent like a Paul George or a Klay Thompson. And then you have that with Lonzo Ball, with Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, just young, length. I think and it's LA, he has a home there. It's a major market, movies, his agency. I think he goes. But like I said, if he wins a championship with this roster in Cleveland, I don't see him leaving.
How many more years do you think LeBron's got?
4.
That's it,
After this year, 4 more.
Max?
That's actually a really good number. I think
Hey!
I think he has like 2 more top level, like best in the world years, and then from then on, depending on the roster, I think he could stay like 2 or 3. So I'd say 4 or 5.
So he doesn't win a championship this year, goes to LA. Does he win a championship in LA?
Yeah,
Yes, if Paul George goes with them.
yeah, he'll win one
Yes.
before he retires.
Yes. I agree with that, too.
But
Just one. So he might win this year, stay with Cleveland, never win again, or doesn't win now, goes to LA, wins one, and doesn't win
No.
anything for that.
I think at least one.
Okay.
At least one. I think he's got more of a shot to win more if he stays in Cleveland, especially if he wins this year. Because if he wins this year, the roster's great.
How many does he have now? 4?
he has 3.
3. Only
Yeah.
3.
Because he's going against an all-time
True.
great team now. I think winning a championship in Cleveland is worth like 2 rings anywhere else. Just because nobody's ever done it there, and for you to win it twice now in your hometown, you came back.
That was the first championship, I think, of any franchise since like the Indians, maybe. And
64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to win like 2, and then you're going against an all-time great team, and you technically don't have any. Well, you have Kevin Love, so you only have 1 All-Star on your team against a super team. Like that's pretty significant on a career. Like Jordan's never done that. Let me just say that.
Wow.
Okay, let's get locked in. So
Yeah. Can I go last? I've been going first every
All right.
time. Can I go last, or you want me to go
produce
first again?
JT Money. You guys getting locked in, or is just this
I
basketball?
can figure it out. I can figure it out as we go. You go, Max.
Oh, damn!
I'll go first. I go first. I could be going first every time. That's my new. I'm the first guy. I'm
Age
Tito
before
Martinez.
age before beauty.
That would be me.
I think I'm older than you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get
Oldest
into this.
All right, I'm going first. Here's my locked in. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
I'm going through my stuff. All right. My locked in is kind of futuristic. It's this year and the next year. I think Cleveland Cavaliers' future looks really good. With LeBron, or even without him. I think they upgraded their roster. Even if LeBron walks this year, they get up by Golden State. They got Kevin Love coming back. They have that really good draft pick by the Brooklyn Nets. They got Clarkson, Jeff Green. They got Rodney Hood. They have enough there in the cupboard to maintain a playoff team. When he left the first time, they went to literally the worst team in the league. They had the first pick. Of course, with LeBron, the future is even better. So my locked in is Cleveland will be okay. Cleveland will be an NBA playoff team for years to come.
Wow. I think they're poorly ran, so it's hard to do that. But the roster you said is easier for them, so the path is a lot better.
You were the guy that defended Dan Gilbert.
Like I said, I didn't like him. That was my spiel. Like before the spiel, I said I didn't
That
like
was the
him.
disclaimer.
I said I don't think he's good. I don't think he's smart. I just think in this case he hit a home run. All right, JT Money, you getting locked in?
My locked in is I will watch more basketball this year.
There you go.
That's
That
good.
counts?
I'll keep it.
That counts.
The
I'll
first
keep it.
ever, right?
Yeah.
There you go. All right,
Produce.
LeBron James
Uh-oh.
will win 0 more championships for the rest of his career.
Oh,
Ooh.
shit.
It had to be negative. It could be nice.
One thing, say something about his hairline. You can't say anything nice about that man.
It has come back.
Yeah,
so
I
whatever
think he
he's
has
done,
surgery
whatever
on the
he's
low.
done, Bosley or whatever,
Rogaine
or
with minoxidil.
Rogaine, whatever he's done to make it come back, that's great. We all can't have great heads of hair like the 3, 4. I don't know. You always wear a hat. I never see you with your hat off. but
The question of the day: does he have hair? And he keeps it on.
he still has to take it off.
We have to get locked in hats.
Yeah. Ooh, let me get on that.
I want to get good hats.
Yeah. With a nice bill.
Yeah, with a nice bill. Yes, they typically come with those. I don't want like a Kangol hat or like a yarmulke, or anything like. Nothing
would wear
against that.
locked in
No.
Before I get
Happy
locked
Festivus.
in, I'm looking at
That's
Pete
not
White
even-
Boxing and MMA, so make sure you check them out. I see it on the water, and Locked In needs to get water because Big Baller Brand now has water. Have you seen that? He has water.
He copied us. Locked in had
Yeah,
water before Big Baller Brand.
And it looks
Yeah.
like the Smart Water type water bottles, too.
It's
So-
definitely not the smart water.
He's a boss. I would buy one.
Unbelievable.
I'm serious.
I'll buy-
Okay.
buy
How much
Locked
is
In
it? Like
water.
$300?
I know, probably like $10. Be a big baller and drink this water. But, all right, I'm going to get locked in. I will say it's a hard one for me, but I think the Lakers definitely land another free agent to acquire LeBron James. And that my locked in can change. Let me make that little caveat that if he wins a championship, I'll change that. But I think they definitely, with Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka now as like the front office, like a stable front office. Magic Johnson is a people's person. He's a legend. People respect him. I think that lures in a big-time free agent, and that then again can hook LeBron James to go to L.A. So I'll say it could be a Paul George, maybe a Kawhi Leonard, maybe a Klay Thompson. A mega star along those lines will be a Laker. That's my locked in. So it's a good time to be a Laker
That
fan.
sounds
I
good.
joined the bandwagon before it was even a wagon. So
Yeah.
LeBron's staying in Cleveland. Lakers are going to demise in the 8th seed for the West for ages to come.
they could make the playoffs still. Let's just
So can the Magic.
let's just keep that. They are playing great basketball, and Isaiah Thomas had
Tell
22
the world
the
about
other
our
night.
Chick-fil-A bet real quick.
What?
Me and Max made a bet before the season. If the Lakers made the playoffs, I would get him 20 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Whew. If the Lakers don't make the playoffs, he would have to get me only 3 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. That's how sure I am that
20
they won't
20
make
to
the
3
They're
odds.
playing great
playoffs.
basketball. That's all I have to say.
There's zero shot. Come on, it's the West.
Isaiah Thomas, and I quote, said, that's what happened with the Celtics. We had to just push to make the playoffs.
They just lost to the Mavericks with
And this-
Isaiah Thomas's first game.
The Cleveland Cavaliers were the worst team in the NBA, but things happen. I'm just saying, you have Lonzo Ball on your team. He's a big baller. Anything can happen.
All right, guys. We'll see. We got 20, 30 games left to go in the season,
Yes,
so
sir.
we got plenty of time to figure that out. So
If they make the playoffs, we're going to go live on, and I'll be wearing a Lonzo Ball Laker
oh
jersey.
jeez.
So, all right. So make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcast or Stitcher Radio, and Facebook. I'm sorry, I almost forgot. In the Locked In community. What was that? Subscribe. I'm sorry.
Instagram, Twitter,
Subscribe.
Dave Van Auken, Locked In with 2 N's, Max Van Auken,
We have an audience out there.
Yeah, we have
giving
an
us,
audience watching us now, so subscribe. I'm
Liv,
sorry.
the queen of Locked In. There she is, folks.
So make sure the Locked In community like and interact with us. If you think Dave is completely right, you comment and agree with him. If you think I'm right, agree with me. Debate with us, Locked In community, and like the Facebook page, Locked In.
If you are right, like I am, and LeBron's not going to
Damn.
win, you can go on there and tell everybody how you agree with me.
All right,
And
cut
JT
the
Money,
producer's
real
mic.
quick, the Podcast Mafia, right?
Yeah, go out, shout out to the Podcast Mafia. That's me. We got a bunch of different podcasts on there, and I'm starting to help out some of my local guys.
Yeah.
What's Owen's podcast? That's my buddy.
Oh No Radio Show. He's
Never
a
met
great
Owen,
dude.
but he's my man. We're buddies.
Locked
Yeah,
In is still
wrestling
your
buddy.
favorite podcast.
He wants you want another Ono wrestling.
But hey,
Yep.
be specific on this group. It's a group page, but it's called Locked In Community. It's a group page. You're gonna subscribe to.
Thank you, sir.
And then join the group, and it will be a public group. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then get involved. If you don't like something they say, tell them. It's all about content.
I like it. We're the People's Podcast. So like always, ladies and gentlemen, stay
Locked
in.
I am joined by, we are joined by, the Locked In crew is joined by Devin Cushing. He's a phenomenal boxer. Thank you so much for giving us your time and getting locked in.
7-0, undefeated, my man.
Yeah, 7-0, brother. Yeah, me and Beast Boy did it again Thursday night.
So you're cool with our boy Michael Davis, huh?
Yes, I am, yeah.
So wait, you're undefeated, Michael Davis is undefeated. Are we talking to the future right now?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, most definitely.
Talent knows talent. So we heard nothing but great things. We watched your fight, of course, on Fight Pass on the UFC. That was awesome to see boxing on UFC Fight Pass. That's something they might go into the future. And we heard nothing but great things about you, and you might be one of the future fighters on UFC Fight Pass in boxing. How does that feel, man?
Yeah, most definitely. It was an honor to be. I was actually one of the first boxing matches on UFC Fight Pass to be broadcasted, and it was exciting, man. I had a good time performing and stuff like that. I'm just looking forward. I hope it happens again. Actually,
Yeah.
it'd be awesome.
Yeah, what I wanted to, one of my first points I wanted to hit was this was the first ever hybrid card that had anything to do with the UFC. That being boxing and UFC. And then, of course, Roy Jones Jr.'s last fight. Take us through that. What was that feeling to be on such a Legends card, last fight, and then yet be on such a monumental, transcending card as far as boxing and MMA colliding into one card?
It was actually a lot of pressure, but then again, it was just time to, I guess you could say, just rise to the occasion, you know what I'm saying, and just soak it all in. And I wish Roy nothing but the best.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever he chooses to do, you know what I'm saying, and other than that, like I said, man, it was an honor to be on that card with all the great athletes on there, including Beast Boy.
It was great. Roy Jones is an absolute legend, and he was telling a lot of people that he wanted to leave the boxing and the MMA into a better place, and that's one main reason he had you. He had Beast Boy Michael Davis on the card. Like I said, you guys are the absolute future. You defeated Tommy Bryant, dominated him, 60-54, all three judges. Boxing is different from MMA. Sometimes you can't get that TKO or KO. I know you got 5 knockouts in your career. Is that all right for you? Do you feel satisfied with a dominant, unanimous decision?
Yeah, I was satisfied with the way with my performance. I kind of just, like you say, you can't always get a knockout or the TKO. I like this knockout or the TKO, but I just showed I could go 6 rounds, even more than 6 rounds, and I showed that I could box. I showed my technique and my technique experience in the ring, and just gave him a different game plan, a different outlook on how I fight.
Yeah, your performance was outstanding. But Devin, this is your first time on Locked In, and we would love to have you on more. But let me get to know you. Let me get to know Devin Cushing, the hype, with everything that's going around you. You're a phenomenal talent. So let me get to know you. What got you into boxing?
Man, honestly, I've been boxing since I was about 17 years old. I've been boxing my whole life. I got 16, almost close to 70 amateur fights. I've competed all around the United States, and I fought the Olympic trials, I fought the World Championships, I fought the Olympic trials in October 2015. That was a good experience for me. Like I said, said, man, it's something I've done my whole life, just like boxing. I've done football, baseball, also, but always had my heart for fighting, and it being an individual sport, winning and losing, being on my back. You know what I'm saying? And it being, I control what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is there so?
I just love the sport, man. I fight. I just want to fight.
Yeah. Is there
We love
anybody in particular that you model your game off of? I heard that you love using the jab. Pete White, I think he said that you can win a fight alone just using the jab.
He said your jab is one of the sweetest jabs he's ever seen in the boxing game.
Yeah, so is that
That's
something
unbelievable.
that you implement in training? Like, what is that?
I can't shoot this, that I gave you a little taste of it Thursday night, but Steve is right. My jab is going to be that's in the boxing game. I can bet on it.
I love that, man. That's
So
awesome.
who do you model your game off of? Like, who's your favorite boxer? Like, I got to get like that. I like his style. I like how he's moving, his movements.
If you want to know, I'm always I'm trained by his father. Man, just walk the boy. Different flow. Just elusive. If you ask me, the Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah, we agree with that.
Yeah, I mean that's what I watch. That's what I get my shit off of.
All right. Still undefeated. 21 years old. Devin, what's next for you? What's the next step in your game?
I really don't know when I'm fighting again, man. I'm actually after the Tommy Brown fight. No injuries at all, no good. So really I'm looking for whatever, man. I'm right back in the gym. Actually just got out of the gym probably about an hour ago. And just taking things slow, man. I'm only 21 years old. I still got a lot of time. I got a lot of growth mentally and physically to do. And I know that. So just stay in the gym, man. Stay consistent in the gym. Stay working hard. And just keep going, man. Just wait on that call. Wait to strap on it.
Where necessarily are you fighting out of? So people that just first now knowing, getting to listen to you, where are you fighting out of?
I'm born and raised, and I'm fighting out of this cold water.
That's awesome. That's terrific. Like I said, I watched your fight. I was very impressed just with your composure, your jab. And Dave mentioned what's next for you. I'm going to go a little more big picture here. That's what we do here at Locked In. Where do you see yourself in a year from now?
A year from now, I see myself, I say 11 and 12 out. About to get ready to kick out the door in the boxing game, honestly.
That's what I was gonna say, Devin. I almost cut you off, and I said.
But the truth, I say about 11, 12 and 0. We'll call it about in February of next year. I'll be about 11 and 12 and I'll be waiting on that phone call to put my name down as one of the top guys and the top contenders out here. I'm saying that I'm looking to be a big name in the sport of boxing, man. I've done it my whole life, and that's what I've been working towards. And I won't stop working towards it until it happens.
Man, we love to hear that, Devin. We definitely agree. We see nothing but big things, a big fight for you in Las Vegas in a year or so. We're excited. Max, you got something for him?
Yeah, I do have something for you. I just want to say thank you so much for giving your time and getting locked in with us. Just to give you a heads up, I always fail to do this to our guests. We typically like a locked in, which is like a bold prediction, such as the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl. Roy Jones Jr. is going to win his last fight. So as I ask you a couple questions, if I could just have you think about what your locked in will be. I would just like to say I'm not proud, like I'm very proud of what you're doing because you seem to represent boxing in a bright light in a good, like honorable way. But what's your end goal? I know it's a really big question. You're young in your career, but I always like to know what your end goal is. What's your, what's your thoughts? What's your dream? So what is your end goal?
Honestly, man, I like to become a world champion. And stay healthy, stay in shape, and retire with money. good, wealthy, and like I said, healthy most importantly.
No,
And,
that's perfect.
and just having a good life, just living it,
Well, thank you, like I said, very much for coming on. We hope to have you on multiple times in the future. Do you have locked in? Do you have a bold prediction for us that we can kind of just get a feel of where you're at? All right. Well, we'll see it through your actions, huh?
Definitely very much. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, man, we appreciate you. Is there anyone you want to shout out? Your sponsors, your Facebook page, anywhere that promoters can get to you? The floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, you can add me on Facebook at Devin Cushing. You can follow me on Twitter at Devin Cushing. You can follow me on Instagram at _Cushing. Shout out to Dean Tools, man. Out of Fight, Iron, Big Deco, my dad, Boy Senior, The Dungeon, other than that, man,
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, and make sure you have a blessed night, a blessed career, and we look forward to having you on in the future.
yeah, appreciate you, man.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you now locked in with the best. We ain't rocking with the rest. And when it's game time, we gon' put you to the test. Come the ball, we hitting it, kicking it, or we dribbling, passing it, or we running, or it's the ring that we flip you in. So what's the news? You want the scoop? You gotta keep it locked to David Max podcast through your speaker box. What's poppin', my friend? You know the drop in. And the only thing left to do is keep it locked in.